little planning on the spot right here.
Well, it is my honour tonight to talk about Leanne a little bit. So I first met Leanne in a kind of unusual way. My son-in-law was a special education teacher at Snow Hill Elementary. He invited us to a parent community evening in the gym there, and where Leanne was the principal. I remember that the gym was filled with parents, children. They were all going around to different stations. They were doing like really great activities, and I was so impressed because it was full. You know, it was just, there were lots and lots of people there. We'd only been there a short while. Mrs. Burke came up and we were introduced. And we just briefly kind of talked about teaching and learning and, you know, just teacher stuff, you know, teachers always talk about. And especially about reading. I recall as she walked away, I thought to myself, that is a woman who knows her stuff. As well, of course, as being warm, charming, and welcome. Shortly after that, Leanne decided to retire from public education, and one day we met again in a Starbucks. We talked about reading again, and all her experiences in assisting new teachers in her schools. I knew we needed supervisors here at Lee, and possibly some help in methods, so I ran back to Lee and told the director of teacher prep that I had found someone. And I remember I went into Bill Estes and said, I think I found someone who can help us, you know. And also, I think it was Ashley. And that is how Leanne came to Lee. And until she had some health challenges, she was here at Lee for more than 3 years, teaching early literacy and methods and supervising teacher candidates and interns. Her students loved her and admired her great wealth of knowledge and practical advice. But before she came here, Leanne just has a great resume, as well as her bachelor's and I believe 2 master's degrees. She worked for Hamilton County. She was a teacher, she was curriculum director, an assistant principal and a principal at Lakeside, Brown Academy, Falling Water and Snow Hill schools. And these are all very different schools, if you know anything about Hamilton County. Yet she had amazing success in all of them. Her schools were amazing. And we all know how important schools are. No, sorry. Okay. She has served on the Pre-K Advisory Board, the German Education Task Force, and the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. She received the Blue Ribbon Principal Award from the U.S. Secretary of Education. She was the Social Studies Teacher of the Year for the state of Tennessee. She was a Leadership Fellow and from the County Commission was recognized for her resolution for academic performance. Finally, she has provided multiple trainings for professional development, leadership in international baccalaureate, leadership in professional learning communities, in guided reading, in literacy workshops, and she has served on Leadership Advisory Group to implement Project Coach. Wherever, Leanne, you found yourself, you have served ably, willingly, and with excellence in every way. And so tonight we honor you, and we thank you for the many years that you've served children so well. Thank you.
Okay, the bad thing is they've given me an opportunity to say something. This could go very, very wrong. But, you know, as she said, I've served as a teacher, curriculum director, and a principal. But my favorite role was being a first grade teacher, I have to be honest with you. Just to see their kids' faces light up and to watch them discover how wonderful reading was. So that was my favorite thing I've ever done. I do have a message for you tonight. If you're in the classroom teaching now, remember, you have the power. You have the power. It's no one else. You have the power to transform a child's life. You really do. And maybe some of your moments when you're as old as I am and you look back in the rearview mirror. I was at a grandparents' day as a grandparent last year, and this lady came up to me and she goes, "Do you remember me?" And I didn't, because you know, when you teach somebody 30 years ago, their parent, you don't remember them. You remember them how they are, right? She goes, "Do you remember me?" And I said, I always do this pause thing, like, and I get my brain, who is that? But she said, you taught my son in first grade. And I said, oh, really? And she goes, he is now manager of the, I'm sorry if I don't get the team right, the Rangers, an ice hockey team. Do you remember that you stayed after school every day and helped him with reading? I didn't, because that was 30 or 40 years ago. And she goes, I'm going to take your picture and send it to him. He's going to be so excited. So as teachers, it's those little memories that keep us going. Because really, you have the power, and we can say, oh, we can't do it because of standards or parents, or we could have a million reasons, right? But you be the teacher that does it and helps transform those kids' lives. Thank you so much.